Hey, good morning, everybody. I am here in Gothenburg, Sweden. I'll be here through the weekend. I will be ministering at the Holy Spirit Night in School of Supernatural with Terj and Helen Nordbo and Nordbo Ministries. And so I just came out of England. As a lot of you, if you've been watching my page, you saw that I've been in England. I was in London. I was in Oxford. And the reason I was there was I just felt like the Holy Spirit spoke to me that I needed to drop off in London for a little bit before this trip here in uh, in Sweden. And that I had some things to, he wanted me to pray out and, just do a little bit of intercession work. And plus I had some people I wanted to see as well. And so we scheduled this trip, and the timing, now that I look back, I'm like, the timing is just crazy. Okay. Just the timing of all of this. And it's like, uh, we come in here, and first of all, it turns out it's their election, which I wasn't paying attention to. I should have. But they just elected, a new conservative PM to replace the one that resigned. And then while we were there, it was just raining all the time. And I didn't know that they were in like absolute drought. And it pretty much broke while we were there. Not that I'm taking credit for that, but that's just, it was just the timing of it. And then, of course, as we have all been seeing, Queen Elizabeth passed away, which is like, I mean, she's a legend. Okay. And so we were like in the air when the announcement went out that we had heard that it looked like she was going to pass away. And so the timing was very, very fascinating to me, because I just know that I work so much with in tandem with land and interceding for different lands. And the Lord will send me on assignments, to do certain things. And to me, this seemed like very simplistic. And yet there was so much going on, and I didn't realize the timing until, of course, I got on the ground. Okay, and so coming out of there, now I'm here in Sweden, and again, now that I saw how everything unfolded, I can, definitely tell you, the warfare that I was having, I was just like, what is going on with me? Pretty much the entire time I was in London, I was just feeling all of this stuff personally, and I didn't realize the level and just how much transition was happening the week that I was actually there. So it explains why I was praying the things that I was praying. And, it just really solidified why stuff was happening to me. All right. So now I'm in Sweden. I'm here in Sweden. I'm going to spend the weekend in Sweden. Then I will head back home. Let us know where you're coming in from. I figured, it's 3:30 a.m. California time, so probably most of the West Coast is not even awake. Probably East Coast is waking up now, but I'm thinking that some other countries are on this live today, just because I'm hitting it at a time that you would be awake. It's about noon here in Gothenburg. And so let us know where you're coming in from. I'm kind of checking it out here. We have Nicole from Western Australia. Let's see. We have Irene from Anchorage, Alaska. And yes, Taurus is up at 6:30 a.m. And we have the Philippines. All right. We have Ohio. Okay. Midwest. Yes, you guys are awake. All right. And we have Rebecca in Great Britain. Awesome. All right. So let's talk about Seers and Dreamers. A couple things happening. First, we have the Glory and Prayer Institutes happening next month, and you don't want to miss that one. We are over 75% in person. Registrations are over 75% full, so make sure that you register. And then we also have the Seers and Dreamers gathering. Well, let me give you a date. Glory and Prayer Institute is October 20th through 22nd, so it's next month. So you want to register for that like as soon as possible and get into that. Seers and Dreamers Gathering, that's what is undergirding what I'm speaking into today. That is going to be February 23rd through 25th in Sydney. And I am very excited for it, because we have been trying to get this conference on for a couple of years, and it got pushed off because of COVID. Well, now it's on, and it's going to be in Sydney. It's been something in my heart for a really long time, and I am excited to see this unfold. I feel such a grace on it, total grace for it. and just the team that's forming for, the worship teams and all the teams that are serving and all the things that are unfolding right now, just to bring this to you in a really good way. It's going to be at the Silverwater Auditorium. They have this beautiful cafe indoors. It's like kind of a garden cafe. It's really beautiful. So without giving you all the details, I'm just excited. Okay. So that's February 23rd through 25th in Sydney. Go to jennifereivaz.com and you can register. There should be some links on the page that you can check out all of these. All right. So Seers and Dreamers, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about that kind of, that kind of realm where God speaks in pictures. He'll speak in pictures. It's the picture language of God. And, one of the things about seeing and dreaming, basically, essentially visions and dreams, I got really, really provoked into studying dream interpretation. This is what happened. There was a man in Christian media. He's quite prophetic, but he was in Christian media, and he knew everybody. And he sent me this email. And at the time, I was like an emerging prophet. I was an emerging seer prophet, starting to write books. I was starting to itinerate. Ministry for me was starting to extend past my church borders. And so I was learning how to navigate that. Well, I get this email from him. And this is a person who knows everybody. So they could have contacted people with much higher credentials than me. I don't know why they leaned over, send an email to me. I think the Holy Spirit just really prompted it. But anyway, they sent me this email and the headline was, can you interpret my dream? And so I read the email and the contents of it, pretty concise, a couple paragraphs. And it was obviously anointed. It was obviously something about the nation. I'm talking about the USA, something anointed. And the person wanted me to interpret the dream. And so I'm scanning through, the dream contents and I'm looking at it. And, to be honest with you, and this is, zeal and ignorance. Let's put it bluntly. It was zeal and ignorance. And I'm looking at the dream and I responded back pretty hastily. I didn't pray about it. I didn't use any sort of biblical process, biblical interpretation process, none of that. I gave this person my best opinion. And I said, I think your dream means X, Y, Z. And the person who was super prophetic and super experienced, wrote back and said, thank you. That's not it. And I was like, so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed, because I'm like, it was like my one chance and I blew it. And that's where I began to realize that visions and dreams are different. They're totally different. Okay. For me, visions, the Holy Spirit had trained me in visions. He trained me how to see. He would ask me, like he would ask Jeremiah and Amos, he would ask me, what do you see? And he showed me how to identify his voice, in visions all around us, throughout our day. And he showed me, how to interpret it. And I was really quite fluent in it. And I was helping people, identify the visions of the Lord that were going on in their world. They just didn't know how to identify it. And, for example, if you, get next to somebody and you'll see a little movie shoot off in your head to either like minister to them or say something kind to them or prophesy, I don't know, different things, or to serve them in some way. And you'll see these little movies sometimes, and they're so quick. There's no emotion. And if you don't know how to identify that, you will miss that the Holy Spirit just gave you a directive. You just had a vision from the Lord, but it's just so quick. Okay. And I was helping people to identify this stuff and even things that would come at them that was symbolic, really visions to me were quite simple and I felt fluent in it. I mean, you can always grow in it, of course. But I made the mistake of thinking that visions and dreams were different, or visions and dreams were the same, and they're not. They're different. Okay. Let me read to you out of Acts chapter 2:17. And it shall come to pass in the last days, says God, that I will pour out of my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. Now, I don't know who said it, but somebody explained it, that the reason there's an age differentiation young men shall see visions, old men shall dream dreams, is because young people, if you're young, visions are simpler and you can interpret them simpler. But when you're old, you can interpret dreams better because dreams require maturity. They require study. They require a focus. You can't just shoot off an opinion about a dream. There is a process to learn. And so I know that when I failed this email, okay, it was a fail. And I was like, I've got to learn dream interpretation. And so I spent a year just studying that alone. And then I've still, obviously I'm still very much in it. But it's one of those things that just keeps unfolding, it just unfolds, 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 unfolds. It really requires a lifetime of learning. But this is the picture language of God, and God is speaking in this realm. And the thing about dreams and visions, I have found that dreams, God is speaking to us a lot more in dreams than we realize, a lot more. And so we're missing that. We're missing, what God is speaking to us. He's setting up our day at night, and we're missing what he's saying. So we don't even know how to pray and how to respond to it. I was like, I write down my dreams, and I'm glad I wrote down the one that I had last night, because if I hadn't written it down, I would have forgotten it by now. Okay. So I did write it down. I write all my dreams down that I remember. I've got like pages and pages and pages of dreams. It just goes on and on. But that's so I can go back to it. But I had one last night, and keep in mind, I just come out of England, and it just felt chaotic to me. Everything was chaotic. I was waking up in the middle of the night. Some of that was jet lag, but I was waking up in the middle of the night, and I was like feeling chaos, and I wasn't feeling right, and I couldn't pinpoint it, and I couldn't understand it. Didn't realize the whole nation was in transition. Didn't know till I came out of it. And then last night, I actually have a dream. I'm here in Sweden now. I dreamt that I was cooking in a house, and cooking is very therapeutic for me. And a man would come and pick me up and drop me in the ocean. And I would swim to the shore and then climb up the rock hill so I could do it again. Okay, so, and the whole thing was very refreshing and fun and peaceful to me. I just was having a really good time in this dream. And it really helped me, because I was thinking, coming out of England, that was really rough. I just don't want to keep having that rough, experience night after night, while I'm here in Sweden. I like this to have some more peace on this. And so I had this dream, and so I knew that the Lord was speaking to me. It's going to be fun. It's going to be the river. Keep climbing up the rock of my word, and and you can go swim in the ocean again. The ocean of His presence, and so that dream was for me. But I also know that dream is also for you, because I'm prophetic. And I know that a lot of times the Lord will speak to me because it's something I'm to speak to others about, staying on the rock of His word, and climbing up the rock, climb up the rock of His word. You want to go up, climb up the rock of His word. And there's going to be times of refreshing for you, times of fun for you. Okay. And so I just want to give that to you. And this whole realm of dreams, the Lord's awakening it. I think we've studied it out pretty well here in the U.S. I believe the emphasis is changing in the U.S. We had an emphasis on all things prophetic for a long time, and the emphasis is changing. But that baton, that prophetic baton, the seer realm, the dreams, all of that is being passed to other nations. I know Australia is one of them. There'll be others, but that baton's being passed, and so that's why I feel it's so timely to have a Seers and Dreamers gathering in Australia, in Sydney. I think the timing's perfect. It's their summer, and I know how God operates with me. I'm a land person. I go into lands very strategically, and so the Lord's awakening that whole realm over there, because they're really going to capture the baton, and they're gonna run with it. And so I'm just really honored to be a part of that. So join us either Glory in Prayer Institute, okay, and that's coming this next month. And there's like a miracle vibe on that, okay. Glory, for sure. Join us at the Seers and Dreamers gathering. Again, if you're coming to the Seers and Dreamers gathering, get your accommodations early, and we'll see you then. Okay. Thanks, everybody. God bless.